说起蒙特梭利，其实中国的家长并不陌生，在中国有很多蒙特梭利学校，而在清迈唯一的一所蒙特梭利的学校呢，已经成立了10年以上了。它的创始人艾尔女士，我们今天在一起来聊一聊蒙特梭利的教育理念。
Hello, my name is Miss Air and I am the school director. 10 years ago, me and my husband founded the school, and I am a trained Montessori teacher who works for Chiang Montessori International School.
The first question is to compare with the other education systems in the early years. What strengths that make Montessori so special?
I believe each type of education is special and unique. For Montessori, I believe our strength is like we believe that each child is unique and different, and each child has the urge to learn and be better. The Montessori approach, we really focus on the individual. We look at the child to see what they can do, what is actually start with what is their interest, what is their ability, and how far you could help that child to go, how much you can support that child to go further. When we look at the individual, it's our strength. But when we see the individual child, Montessori approach, we try to find the activities that the child show us, that the child is asking us. Or for example, if the child has interest in math, we will find the opportunity or during the hours to offer and present math activities to the child. So we follow the individual child, and also we allow the child to learn with that activity or to take the time with that activity and to get master over that activity. So they learn it at their own pace. We don't have a fixed time for the children to master over one task in an hour, but they have a long stretch of time as long as they need to master over a task, and then we will move them on to the next one, and the teacher is there as a guide to help the child to master over a task.
What kind of children and parents are not so suitable for studying in a Montessori school?
I think education is for all, but it can only be effective and useful for children and families is that we move the children towards the same direction. And with Montessori, we allow a lot of independence. The children plan their own activities, they choose to do their own activities, they interact with their own activities. So it might not work if they come from a family with a lot of help from the parents. If you would think about, at school, when they come to school, the children will be eating by themselves. I mean, talking about very young children, they will be eating by themselves, but at home, if they have someone feeding them, so they come to school, they would expect teachers to feed them. I think it is very important that parents allow independence in the family, and that at school, the child will thrive through the environment well. So there needs to be independence in both home and school.
Most of the time up to the parents. But
they have to move to the same direction. The parents need to allow independence, and which means, home environment must have a corner where they can help themselves with drinks and snacks, healthy snacks. And there's a corner where they can go and do drawing, painting. There's a corner where they can freely go and do reading, not just like, oh, mommy, I would like a drink, and just keep coming to mommy or daddy, because at school, they would be the one who also help themselves. The teachers are there to guide them towards the learning. But all the basic things, the children cannot be independent if they don't have the basic ability to drink or eat or dress, undress, use the bathroom. So all of these need to be completed from the home environment, because parents are the first educators for their children. So they need to allow this to happen at home. Independence must take place at home, and that the children will thrive at the Montessori environment.
And question 3, many Montessori students, when they are growing older, they may change to another school, switch to another education system. Will they adapt, and what should they do for preparation
Right.
Before switch to another system.
If we talk in terms of the academic studies, Montessori provide all learnings, for example, math, English, science, technology, PE. We provide all the subjects just the same as any other schools, but actually the way the children work is different because they use what we call Montessori materials to learn a concept. So the children academically they will not have any issues because they are learning in the program already. But when we talk about, I think we talk about academic and the social adaptation to the new environment. In Montessori, the children are given the opportunity from very early age to develop a social skill. So they are given the opportunity to practice this throughout the day naturally with other children during the class. So the social part is also, we find our children adapt very well when they change the environment or when they go to a new system. So personally, I really believe children are well prepared both academically, socially, when they go to the new system. Actually, we know the children very well, and I had some cases of the children from Montessori where they have a whole day that they manage their day, but now they have to go to a traditional system where they will be told what to do. So actually for those children, we actually give them opportunity to discuss how the routine at the new system would be like, and just we have to say to them, from now you will be having set time, and that you will need to work and complete the task within the hour. Because children reaching that point when they are, for example, 12 years old, they understand, and children are so adaptive and they can adjust themselves actually much better than adults in many ways. So it's just through conversation that your routine will be different, and you will have set time to finish a task, and you have to finish within the given time. So a lot of it come down to just discussion with the lead teachers or the guide in the environment.
What are the 3 most important points that the parents should concern before choosing a Montessori school?
Right. So the first point is the parents must look for a school which have AMI trained teachers. This is one of the most leading organization of Montessori education. After that, once they know the school have an AMI teachers, then they make a visit, and the school should offer the opportunity for the parents to sit in the classroom, so the parents get to see the class in operation, the class in action, and they will see how the teachers interacting with the young children or with the children, and they will see a peaceful classroom. They will see the classroom full of materials. Third, they should get to talk to the administrative team to see whether the administrative team and the schools are, working hand in hand and supporting one another. So I think this is the 3 elements of, choosing a Montessori school.
What kind of certification that Montessori teachers need, and what should they do before they get this certificate or to maintain it?
Choosing a training center for Montessori, a lot of people will be looking into this organization called Association Montessori International, or some will be looking for something called AMS, but our teachers are mainly come from AMI organization. So the course can be run over 1 or 2 years depending on the learner or depending on the student choosing to complete the certification. So it's a 1 to 2 years training that you will have an opportunity to understand the philosophies, understand the children development, and understand about the Montessori materials, and then you practice with them, and you will know how to use the materials, and then you will be able to later give those materials or concepts to the children. During the course, you will also get to do teaching practice in a Montessori school. That is a really good opportunity for the students who are in the training course to get a chance to put what they are learning into practice. At our school, we also accept children from AMI training centers to come and do teaching practice at our school.
Not easy to find one teacher with a certificate, right?
Yeah, it is very limited. There's not many teachers. For Montessori, first you need to have your first degree. You need to have a bachelor degree at least, and then you can do the training. That is the rule. I think when Montessori allow the students in the training course to do the practice, I think it really helped us to see so many things that, wow, we learned from paper already, and now we see it in real life. It's not as easy as when you read from the paper. You think like, oh, I can do this, but when you having to lead each individual child to go to learn different things at the same time, it is quite a challenge.
After like over 100 years, the first running of the Montessori school, have there been any changes on the education philosophy or practice?
I am so surprised that Dr. Maria Montessori has thought about this over 100 of years. I don't know whether it's only by luck or she's born genius. I think she's a genius. She said Montessori can happen at any time, any place in the world, but you just need to look into the environment and adapt that environment. But one big thing that didn't happen in those days, 140 years that this education has been established, there was no technology, there was no internet. But she said, you look into the time that you are in, and you look into the environment that you are in. So if we are born in 2020, or we are in this era, I really think education needs to prepare the children for the future. I think the big change would be technology, but that our children must have those ability and understanding and skill to be able to continue and to be prepared for their future.
Technology changed all the time. Philosophy will be
the same. The philosophy is the same, but it's the environment that changed. But you have to help your children to adapt to the environment. You can't keep them in a bubble. It's just not possible.
The children spend more time on the gadgets, iPad, watching videos on laptop or cell phones. What's your opinion on that?
10 years ago, I really disagree that the children have the access to any of this technology. But education has changed big times in this 10 years. My word would be balance. So children should be allowed to have the access to this useful information. For example, they can use the internet as a means of learning. And there's a lot of things that they can learn from the videos, YouTube, so many things. But the most important thing is they are guided by the adult when they are young. And they are healthy in the way of choosing things that they are watching. So I think it's about balance, having the right adult or guide around them to guide them. I think there are useful information that we should not keep away from the children, because as I say, we have to prepare them for the future. And Dr. Maria Montessori mentioned that Montessori is taken anywhere or at any time need to be adapted or be adaptive to the environment. So if you focus on that word, you will not keep the technology from the children.
If you just force the children not to play with the gadgets,
they will want to do more. They would hide it from you. So it's about balance. Also, you know, if we are an adult, we can help our children to be a healthy 2020 children, and if we spend enough time with them. I think outside is also important. Being outside, going surfing, going to the beach, going rock climbing, going trekking, all of those still very important for children and for all of us, for our mental health, you know. But I think the technology or videos or those useful information is also can be offered to the children in a healthy way with supervision.